So coming out of St. Louis, I was starting to feel pretty comfortable in the car. We had some small adjustments to make, but I was really excited to get a little bit more seat time, practice in Utah before the competition, and come into this last round really strong and sort of show my growth over the season and my growth in the car. Came out to Utah a couple weeks early. They have a pro practice day that's available, and I thought that would be a really great way to have a bit more experience in the track before competition, because we get so little practice before qualifying. And I really enjoyed that. I had an amazing day of practice. And then at the end of the day, we did some engine health checks and we made the call to swap to my spare engine, which luckily I had acquired at the beginning of the season. Unfortunately, that engine had a few small issues on the dyno, and we needed to push the dyno to when the car actually arrived in Utah. The car arrived in Utah, we got it on the dyno immediately, and there was a catastrophic failure immediately. So then we had a plan B, which was, okay, we'll pull the other engine out and we'll put the other engine back in. But when we really took a look at the head, we realized, no, we had made the right call the first time to not run the engine. So we thought we'd be able to just put the old engine back in, but when we really took a look at it, we realized that no, the head was actually as damaged as we had feared. So we ended up combining the head from the new engine that had just blown and the bottom end from the engine I'd run all season and putting that into the car to run it for the event. The guys basically worked from that point onwards to pull, examine, combine, replace the engines, and I made it on track in time for practice at 11 a.m. the following day. Incredible hustle by the guys, a ton of work to be done, and they just really, again, pulled out all stops and really achieved incredible results. Going into practice, we were both sort of actively tuning the car, testing the car, and trying to practice at the same time. And because we'd focused so much energy on the engine, we had a little bit less time to think about suspension setup, alignment, that sort of thing, which all kind of got mixed in while we were currently just adjusting the tune between laps. So it was a lot going on, but by the end of practice, I felt really good. I had one lap that I was like, that's the lap I want to do in qualifying. I felt good about my driving. The data was good in terms of engine health and also in my driving style. I was really excited to go into qualifying, and I was feeling really strong. All right, so going into qualifying, I had come off a really solid practice lap and I was really excited. I ended up getting a little too excited, a little too committed on throttle, and I entered a little bit, maybe 10% faster than I'd been entering, but I didn't adjust my initiation point enough. So the fine line, there's a really fine line between a really sick heater of a run and going off track, and unfortunately I ended up on the wrong side of that line. So I ended up zeroing my first lap and had to go into the last chance qualifying for a second lap. So we looked at the data after that lap and it was aggressive, so I was trying to figure out how to dial it down, but just that 10% that I'd gone too far, I didn't really make the proper calculations, and when I initiated I wasn't able to hold the car out and keep my line sideways for as long as I needed to, and I ended up straightening up between zone 1 and 2, which got called a 0, and that ended our weekend. It was really heartbreaking to have that result after all of the hard work that my guys put in, because I did feel like I was letting them down, but I was proud of my growth as a driver, just not stoked on when it happened. So this year of FD is over for me, but my season and my job as a driver really isn't. Next season I'm going to be in this car again. My goal is to get as much seat time as possible in this car before next season so that I can really come out swinging, and other than that, it's make some adjustments to the things that we found, find the funding, and just buckle down.